Rational exponents. They can look not so bad, but they can be a pain. Welcome to Algebra Examples, where we make algebra easy. If you have an algebra problem that you are stuck on and you'd like to see the solution to it, feel free to drop it in the comments and you may be seeing it in a future video. Today we're going to look at the problem where we are asked to solve x to the 2/3 is equal to 16. And probably 9 times out of 10, I always get a little bit scared when when a problem is short and looks super small because these things can get a little bit cranky, so to speak, right? So before we dive in, let's recall some information about rational exponents and how they work because, whew, there's a lot to go on here. I'm going to start off with the bottom one here. A to the 1 over n is equal to the nth root of a. And I'm going to do an example of that. So for example, if you are taking the square root of a number, let's just do 9. That would be the same thing as putting a 2 out there, 2 to the 9th, which is the same thing as 9 to the 1/2. Same thing. Usually we just avoid putting the 2 in there if we're taking a square root. A lot of times you'll see it much more frequently if you're looking at like a cubed root or something bigger. So that's the reason why we have that. So if we look at 1 over n, this is just the nth root. So that number can move around. If you have a fraction, you're really taking a square root or an nth root of a number. All right, so if we have a rational exponent, we can break those numbers up. We can put the number on top, the m on top, on the outside. So we have a to the 1 over n to the mth power. We can take a to the m to the 1 over nth power. We can do the nth root after we take a to the m, or we can do the nth root first and then take the whole thing to the mth power. So we can play around with it, and we have all these different variations so that we can use whatever works best. And one of the things that is going to work best for us, and the thing that you should have on your paper if you don't remember it, is this little thing down here. Any non-zero number divided by itself is equal to 1. And oh my gosh, is this useful? And it's kind of weird because the one kind of, it's that ghost number. It's there, but we don't always see it. So keep in mind, super, super useful. All right, let's go back to our problem up here. I'm going to rewrite our problem. We have x to the 2/3 is equal to 16. And that exponents are so, whew, let's get rid of it. So the way that we're going to get rid of it is we are going to get a fancy 1 there. So we are going to multiply, or take it to the exponent of, I should say, 3 over 2. And we do that for one side of our equation. Remember, we always have to do it for the other side of our equation. And I'm just going to do this on the side so that we can kind of see what's going on here. Why are we doing that? If we take 2/3 times 3/2, this is 2 times 3 divided by 3 times 2. And hopefully you might be seeing it already, but notice we can flip the direction of our denominators. So 2 times 3. And then we can break that up again. 2 times 2 over times 3 over 3. So this gives us a nice, cute little number 1. So when we have something where we have a rational exponent, we're trying to figure out what that x is, we're going to flip that exponent and multiply both sides to that exponent. All right, let's get back to that problem. We just saw that this exponent turns into a fancy pants 1. And we're going to kind of get rid of that. I'm just going to write it as a normal x. And then we have a 16 to the 3/2. Oof, that doesn't really look that pretty, does it? Okay, let's see if we can make this a little bit prettier. So, oh, let's see what we can do. A lot of times when we're working with this, we want to keep in mind, how does 16 break down? 16 breaks down as 4 times 4. Oh, hey, that's nice, isn't that? Hmm, 4 times 4, we can write that as 4 squared, can't we? Oh, now we're getting somewhere. And, oops, sorry about that. 4 squared. Remember, we can break up our exponents in whatever way we want. So I'm going to take the 1/2 and then I'm going to split the 1/2 away from the 3. So now we have 4, and we're going to take that 2 times a 1/2 to the third. Those two things, 2 times 1/2, that gives us a fancy pants 1. So that leaves us 4 to the third power. So we know 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times another 4 would be 32/64. So our answer in this case is 64. And that was a bit of work, wasn't it? However, keep in mind, the key to these sort of things are remembering how our exponent rules work, and more importantly, recall where that fancy pants 1 comes in. And if your teacher allows you to have a note sheet and you're having questions on rational exponents, have these things down on your note sheet to help out. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.